And he came along to tell you that, "No, actually, Mum, you might think you got it sorted. You got it sorted with Ziggy. Now you got to
Yeah.
figure it out with me."
Now you've got a Jagger. And
Yeah.
I say no to the carrier, and I will not fall asleep on your boob. And he was just a whole new challenge. He really was. It was all the tools that we had learned for Ziggy didn't work for Jagger, except the knowledge that it would pass.
That applies, in general, doesn't it?
It was going straight back to trying to figure out a child again and being like, oh, we've got this. We've got like 30 baby carriers in the wardrobe. What are we even worried about? And then no, that was not working for this new baby. We actually found out with Jagger that it took a while to come to this realization. He needed his tonsils, adenoids removed and grommets put in. So there were some serious things that were going on that we didn't know about and weren't really aware of. We went through our checklist. We got the tongue tie sorted. I was having a hell of a time breastfeeding him. I had all through pregnancy, I had breast pain in my left breast. They gave me an ultrasound. They expressed and sent samples away. They found a lump. They sent me to a breast specialist. It all amounted to nothing. It's still to this day we don't know what happened, but I had to stop feeding from one side. So Jagger was fed exclusively from one breast for 2.5, 3 years. And so there was a lot sort of going on with him, and we thought that getting a tongue tie snipped might help. But we didn't realise that actually there was the breathing issues. He was a really sweaty baby, so he'd feed and feed and feed, and he'd work up a hell of a sweat, and he'd soak the bed, the sheets, and we didn't realise that was a sort of like a sign that there was something wrong with all of his breathing.
So this is right from when he was a brand new baby, or was this a little bit further on?
Probably from about 8 months.
Yeah.
We started really seeing, the sweating, mainly just the sweating, and then he'd sleep, he'd fall asleep, and then he'd sort of like gasp awake, and that would startle him awake again.
Did he snore or have any of those other kind of things, or it was like he was quite a quiet sleeper, but he'd get that big gasp going on?
Yeah, he'd have the big gasp and the sweating.
So who did you see about that?
We went and saw a ENT specialist in Hamilton, and I remember the appointment because I knew something wasn't right, and we'd gone through a non-sleeper with Ziggy, and we'd come out the other side like he'd had challenges along the way, but they were more to do with the comfort he was needing, the nourishment he was needing, the fact he needed to sleep with us. But none of that was really working with Jagger, and so I knew it was more than just pushing through. I had this feeling that something else was going on with him. And it can be really hard as a mum being believed when there's something else going on, he doesn't sleep, babies don't sleep. But actually there was shit happening. And I went to the ENT specialist. AJ was at work. I had Ziggy with me as well. And we got in to see her. And she just got him to open his mouth, took one quick look down his throat and went, oh, yeah, we need surgery. We'll get you in next week. It was...
Next week? Holy dooly. They must have been so worried.
I cried.
Yeah.